going on, Jerome? So we said off season the Vikings need to get back to having the meats along the defensive line and having that quick first step penetrating defensive tackle, and as evidenced by the Vikings reported interest in Christian Wilkins as well as Tierra Tart, they want that too. That's why they could turn their eyes to the draft. And Byron Murphy II, the pride of Texas. If you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a penetrating 3 tech. That's exactly what Byron Murphy II is indeed. And the Vikings are doing their diligence. Rap sheet go. Texas defensive tackle Byron Murphy II, one of the top prospects at his position in the draft, is visiting the Vikings on a top 30 visit today. So said. Minnesota picks at 11. Now, yes, it will be uber confusing where the Vikings not only would have Byron Murphy Jr., the cornerback, they would have Byron Murphy II, which I understand. So Byron, not really a common name nowadays. Murphy, relatively common last name, but also both of them being seconds / juniors. That's hilarious. I kind of love it, man. But Byron Murphy II, the defensive tackle, is an absolute stud. He's 21 years young, 6 foot 308, allegedly. A former 4-star recruit from DeSoto, Texas. Only started 1 season for the Longhorns, which is why some people are like, but he was behind Kendrick Coburn and Moro Ajomo, so sort of understand it. 29 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 21 stops, 45 pressures, and a 12% pressure rate his junior season in Austin. 91.1 PFF grade. First team All Big 12, Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. No big deal. No big deal. Also helped get Texas into the semifinals where, I mean, the Texas defense was kind of shredded by Penix Jr., but no one likes to talk about that. It's crazy, man. Combine, he did test well. A little bit undersized, certainly, but in terms of measurables, 9.04 RAS, 4.87 40, great 10-yard split as well, which we know is important with Kwesi, as well as the 33-inch vert, which is good at his size. Draft profile from NFL.com, Lance Zierlein. Draft comp, Ed Oliver. Ooh, Houston kid. Overview, muscular ball of explosiveness, which is also how I'm described. With the tools and talent to become a productive 3-down defender in the right scheme, twitchy first-step quickness combined with flexion and power in his lower half create a recipe for disruption as a gap shooter or as a pass rusher. Murphy is powerful and well-schooled in taking on double teams, but lacks ideal mass and length for that role long-term. He's successful at bypassing protection with sudden hands and quick feet, while his motor and passion create an activity level coaches will love. Forget the average physical traits and modest production and focus on his competitive spirit and disruptive qualities. Murphy is ascending and could become a successful nose tackle or 3-tech in an even front. Now, the Vikings do play an odd front with Flores, except he will deploy multiple looks up front, and of course Flores is very good at incorporating and adjusting his scheme to his talents. And with Murphy, he's got that lightning quick first step. He does have NFL level strength despite his size, but also I feel like his size is actually good because he plays with good leverage. Low man wins up front, and of course don't want to just toss to Aaron Donald comp on every single undersized but super strong and super quick nose defensive tackle, but great first punch, and he does rush with the plan, and he does have that super high motor, just really gets after things, and positional flexibility. I think that he will be a 3-down player, and if the Vikings that want to have that odd front up front, I think that he could play a 4-tech, he could play a 3-tech in even front, as well as, like Zierlein said, maybe some pass rushing nose tackle in certain packages as well. Plus, I think you're just scratching the surface on him. He is young, he is a true junior coming out, so I think that there's a lot of developmental traits as well as a lot of room to grow with him. And defensively, so the Vikings did bring in Jerry Tillery and Jonah Williams, except they're more space eating, run stopping 5-techs, but you don't really have that guy up front still that can just blow up a gap, and I think Murphy is going to be that guy. Now, I do think that Murph is probably going to go in the teens somewhere. I think that he could be a candidate for one of the top 3 defensive players taken. So I kind of doubt that he gets to 23. I think there's just too many good fits for him through the teens. You look at the Bengals, you look at the Rams as they're looking to replace Aaron Donald, you look at the Dolphins as they're looking to replace Christian Wilkins, you look at the Seahawks are always looking for bodies up front, you look at the Eagles as they look to retool up front as well. So I think the Vikings, if they want Murphy, I think they're probably going to have to stick and pick and take him at 11, but that would... it's not the most insane proposition, depending on what happens with the quarterback, where maybe they don't get to trade up. Maybe they think that Penix at 11 is a little bit too steep. Maybe they'd rather roll the dice on Penix getting through to 23 versus Murphy the second. So we'll see what happens. But either way, I think that Byron Murphy the second is going to be a phenomenal player in the National Football League. I think that he is exactly what the Vikings are lacking at this point, and I think that his ceiling is absolutely sky high in terms of being a potential Pro Bowler and All-Pro. So glad that the Vikings are doing their work with him indeed. So your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings meeting with Texas defensive tackle Byron Murphy II. Hook it, baby. As a top 30 visit, let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Don't support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.